Morning, Erica.
Good morning. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about testing.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a little bit of anxiety behind testing, preparing for testing, and going to go take that test.
Perfect.
Yeah.
A lot of our candidates are dealing with that right now, and just all of the
Well, this is
the logistics and the here and there and the studying and the preparing and the deadlines.
This is the time of year. And I think, especially if people are just getting into the program and they're like, oh, this is my to-do list.
Yes.
Testing is one of them. So
It's not the biggest maybe, but it's big.
I think it's a mental hurdle for a lot of people.
It is.
It is something that people dread because they just don't know like what to expect or they have memories of taking tests as kids or whatever it may be. Like there's something behind it where there's like, I just don't want to go take this test.
Yes.
So let's talk about how can we get past this hurdle and make individuals realize like this is like something that is a positive and needed step to get into the classroom and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. So most of the time you're going to have to pass what we call a subject or a content area exam first. You don't usually have to do that before you enroll into iteach. There's a couple states where you need
Caveats,
to.
yeah.
But you're almost always going to need to pass that before you can start your teaching residency. You have to prove if you're going to hop in and be a biology teacher, you need to know what you're talking about to teach that biology class.
Demonstrating content knowledge.
Yes. Subject matter expertise. Those kids are looking at you to be that biology expert.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to back it up. And we prove that with an exam.
Proof is in the pudding.
The proof is in the pudding. The little Pearson pudding.
Yes. Gross.
That is gross.
I really like to talk about maybe some anxiousness that individuals have before like taking the test. Okay, let me back up one more step.
Yeah.
When you get in the program, some states require test approval from us.
Mm-hmm.
Some states you can go take the test without the approval of the program. So if you have to request test approval from us to be able to go take your test, I say right out of the gate, ask for that test test request, because even if you don't plan on taking the test for the next month or so, at least get your approval in there. You can go register for the test. And it just depends on the exam, like the availability of the test, because some tests fill up quite quickly.
Yes. And some are not offered very frequently.
Right.
So definitely request the approval right when you enroll. This is mostly for our Texas people.
Right.
But request that approval. That way the ball's in your court, and then you can find out when that test is being offered in your area, what you can do, and kind of get that on the books.
Yeah.
And honestly, go ahead and schedule it, even if you're scheduling it 3 months out, so that you give yourself a deadline.
Well, and also you don't have to you don't have to register for the test to see when it's available.
Right. That's true.
Yeah. So you can just go to the website to see when tests are available.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have to look at how long does the test take to be graded and provide feedback, get your test results.
Yes.
Because some tests are like a few weeks, and then some tests are over a month because there's a written portion on the exam.
Mm-hmm.
So you really need to plan out your strategy of taking this test. If you want to have some time, if you need a retest, like you just need to give yourself like a nice calendar of when you're wanting to do this.
Yes. And I think that's part of what can make testing so intimidating, is because there are all of those layers to find out, even just as to plan the date that you want to plan it. You have to go, okay, when is my score going to be reported? Which is on the website. It's all there.
Yeah.
But you have to go, when is my score going to get back? Because I have to have my score back before I can get my documents that I need. But then also, what if I don't pass? And then I have to wait for 30 days. So you have to do all of this planning, and that it can feel like a lot.
Yeah.
So I
think when we
get it out of the way.
Yeah,
is my general advice.
I agree, and I think when we spoke the last week, we talked about planning from plan from the finish to the beginning.
Yes,
like plan backwards.
Plan backwards.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of think about that. And then I think let's so we have the test registered.
Mhm.
You're giving yourself like maybe let's say a month, 2 months to study for the test. And sometimes you get kind of wrapped up in that anxiousness behind testing, standardized
Mhm.
exams. You don't know what to expect. So what do we want to tell individuals that are kind of like preparing for the test and what you need to do to kind of study for it?
Yeah. I think it's really important to over prepare, and not that you need to make preparing for that exam your whole world, but just don't we've got people every now and then that are like, I just took the test to see what was on it.
Please don't do
I'm
that.
sorry, what did
Yeah.
you just say?
Well, that's a waste of time and money.
Right.
Yes.
But just really be confident in everything that you know, so that when the anxiety does creep in and when you are feeling nervous, you're prepared enough. If you are, 120% prepared and your anxiety takes you down by 30%, you're still 90% of the way there.
Well, I think
because you have like overcompensated.
Right. And I think some of that anxiety is based on you don't know what to expect and you're not
Right.
and you don't feel prepared. So if you feel prepared, that anxiety kind of dissipates just a bit.
Yes.
And you can't control it no matter what.
Of course.
I mean, I think I was telling you earlier, it's like I'm a product of the 80s, like you didn't talk about or even understand what anxiety was. It's like, oh, my stomach hurts or I can't sleep last night. Or, it's just like things that you didn't listen to your body. It's like I just didn't understand what I was feeling. And then it was like, oh, it kind of took over when it came to taking tests or whatever like that. And I remember in college going to like a testing center, like, what do you do about this anxiety? And I was like, I just didn't even put 2 and 2 together.
That's what was happening.
That was what was happening. And it was like, and then I had, study techniques and how to like just kind of work through that as you're getting ready for the test. So I don't know. I think you have to listen to yourself, but I think also it's just like, if the more you're prepared you are, the less anxious you're going to feel about the situation.
Yeah. I mean, you can drive to the testing center, take a look at it.
Yeah.
You could probably walk in the front door and that wouldn't be super weird. Like the people who are there, they see anxious testers all the time. It's not weird. You can just pop in and say, hey, I just wanted to check it out. I'm going to be here in a month.
That is a great suggestion because when I walked into the test, I was like, I don't know where I'm going. This is how unprepared I'm always in my life. But it's like, where am I going? I looked at the map like the morning of going to the test.
Yeah.
I get to the testing center and I was like, oh, it's a room full of like cubbies and you sit down.
Yes.
I just didn't even know anything. So
it's probably in a strip mall. It's probably, fluorescent lighting, and you're probably walking up to a row of computers.
Yeah.
And, it's not a glamorous situation. They're not really going out of their way to make it super cozy for you.
No.
But that's okay because you're going to be prepared for that.
Right.
And you can have, have your water bottle, make sure you eat something before you go in there, but kind of understand where the place is so that you're not frazzled trying to get there on time, get there a decent amount early.
Yep.
So that, again, you're not stressed. If there's a wreck on the highway, it doesn't matter. You're super early so you can absorb it.
Yeah.
Just and this sounds like an anxiety response too, I guess, but I mean, over prepare so that if everything goes smoothly, great, but you are ready for things to go a little sideways and you can absorb it. You can kind of roll with some punches.
Those are great. That's great advice because we should probably do a podcast and follow the camera should follow me around and say what not to do because I can write all the things on what not to do.
Are you trying to say that you don't over prepare for things as a rule?
I'm a fly by the seat of pants kind of girl. Anyways, yeah.
But you know that about yourself.
That is true.
And that's important. And so when the next time you have to take a standardized exam, you're going to know, okay, this is my natural tendency. I know that that's not necessarily to my benefit in this situation.
Right.
So let me be intentional about taking some different steps.
You are a therapist to me right now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's talk about before the test. There's a couple of things that we found that were really great tips. I think the the breaking up the study material into chunks.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where I was like, I crammed. And I was like, I'm going to get all this information in 2 days. I'm going to remember it all. And then you walk in, you're like, what did I just study? You don't know.
Right.
So I think it was like, give yourself time and then create chunks of study material. Like if you have to do, sometimes you have a test that has different competencies where it's like you might have English, math, science, and social studies.
For our core teachers.
Yeah. So if you're doing elementary, but if you have a test that you know is going to have multiple competencies on the exam, break that up and say, for this 3 weeks, I'm going to study this section of the test.
Oh, definitely.
And then
this week is English.
Yep.
Next week is math.
Yep.
Next week is science. And split it out that way. It'll keep you accountable too to actually looking at that content every week.
And they said flashcards. Do something that helps you, writing notes, rewriting your notes. What helps you?
Physically writing things down is so good for your brain. Go buy the index cards. They still make them. They still make them for a reason. Write it down. Quiz yourself.
Yeah.
Have your roommate quiz you. Something that came up this morning when we were talking is to practice teaching someone else the material.
I love that.
And I think that is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Practice teaching. Teach your child, teach your spouse, teach your roommate. Would you like to talk about sea creatures today or the water cycle? I don't know. I'm on a science kick, I guess, this morning.
Yeah.
But really break it down for someone else and let them ask you the probing questions because they're going to see the gaps in what you're telling them.
I love that.
And it's going to cause you will need to know more than you think you need to know.
So we're kind of using different study tips, or not study tips, but techniques like writing, oral, visual. Like there are different.
Like get every part of your brain.
Yep. And I think
I'm going to go for my chin, but I don't know what's there. Nothing.
I don't think part of your brain, but it's oral. You can talk about, so you have to like maybe use different techniques as you're studying. It can't just be like one and done type deal.
Right.
Yeah. But I love the idea of teaching the material to someone.
Yes.
Saying it out loud. I talk to myself constantly. This would be a great time to talk to yourself in the bathroom as you're getting ready,
Definitely.
Tell yourself what it's going to be like for classroom, whatever it is going to be on the test,
and give yourself a pep talk.
Yeah. I love that. Organization. That's probably that is key right there. I think just people are just unorganized. And I think if you were to, I think what we go back, know where the test is going to be, give yourself ample time, get your study material together. What are you going to wear when you're going to take the test? Get something comfortable. Make sure you're not cold. Something like that. So it's like
light layers. So
you can, if you get too hot, you get too cold, you have a comfortable outfit to wear while you're testing. Make sure your gas tank is full.
Oh my God. That's me.
Right.
That's me. I would go to the testing center ahead of time. I will leave. I will do everything and I will leave my house with an empty tank of gas. I am horrible with that.
There you go.
You got me.
So you're not perfect at testing.
I am not perfect at testing. I'm terrible at keeping my car filled with gas.
That's funny.
Sometimes stereotypes are based in reality.
Oh, yeah.
You and I disagreed about this one, but I think for me, it's super important with things like this. You need to have a playlist to listen to because that could be like a 30, 45 minute. I know at some places, depending on where you are, it could be a doozy of a drive to a testing center. Have something that is going to hype you up, get you excited, that you can sing along to, whatever that is for you, and get excited, feel positive so that you're walking into that, kind of bummer of a testing center,
right?
Aesthetically speaking.
Yeah.
And you're going, yes, I've got this. I can conquer this. And you're excited because you have just had fun by yourself in the car.
Yeah. And I said that would work for me sometimes, but if I need to really hone in on my focus, and I just sometimes silence and quiet in the car is really good as well. Meditation, music, or, just I think
you can use the Calm app or Headspace, and you can you could play that in the car. Yeah. Really to kind of guide you through.
Some people want to hear heavy metal. It just depends on the person. It really does. But I think whatever makes you feel calm, that's what you need to do on the way there. Silence could be also that.
Silence stresses me out. I hate silence.
That's funny. Oh, okay. So we talk about when you're in the test, like what do you need to do like as you're taking the test?
Yeah.
We have, just breathe and relax. We have
Definitely breathe.
Yeah, I think also just reading the instructions and reading the questions very carefully so you're not rushing through them.
Really read the questions. I know we all know that, right? We all grew up in school. We all went to school. We all went to college. But these tests, and I don't mean this in a negative way, they're kind of designed to trap you a little bit.
For sure.
Because you're supposed to be smarter than the trap. And so if you miss, it could be like, Sally has 3 toys and Billy has 2. How many does Karen not have?
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But that if you miss the not in the question, you might land at a completely different answer.
Yeah.
Because you glazed over it and you get it wrong because you missed a crucial word.
That's a great point. And I also think like when you're taking these standardized exams, there's always 2 that you can kind of weed out pretty easily. It's like, okay, that doesn't even make sense. It doesn't pertain to what we're talking about.
Right.
But I feel like there's always 2 questions. It's like, I feel like either one of these could be correct. How do you, it's like, so what we kind of talk about, like, how do you really kind of understand like how to select these? No, I'm not an expert. I don't, it's been a long time since I've taken the test, but I do know it's like there were moments where it's like, okay, this is not realistic. This is like, the resources to this teacher that you're answering these questions about are like unlimited. So that it's an ideal situation as you're answering these questions, but there's going to be one that is 2 are going to be kind of correct, but there's going to be one that's like
one that's the like platonic ideal.
Yeah.
And it's shiny and you have to figure out which one that one is.
Yeah.
And it's not always obvious because if you're like me, I feel like I always choose the second best one. I'm really good at that. And then I get mad because I'm like, well, it technically isn't wrong.
Right.
But you really have to go, okay, if I am the biology teacher and my student is answering this question in my classroom, which one do I want to see them say?
Yep.
In a perfect world.
Well, I also think a lot of individuals that are taking these exams have been in the classroom already. So it kind of muddles the way you're like, well, I don't think that I would be able to do it this way. But it's like, but that is the ideal situation.
You mean for like a pedagogy exam?
Right.
Right.
There's these moments where it's like you've been in the classroom and it's like, okay, but I don't have that availability with that. So.
Yes, especially for those exams when you're being asked for classroom management or, learning adaptations, things like that. Always choose all things being perfect.
Yes, always things being perfect.
You're in a constant state of relaxation as a teacher.
Yep.
You have all of the resources that you need. All of your children are behaving perfectly.
Yep.
Which choice would you make?
Absolutely. And I think that is the kicker. And you just kind of have to figure that one out. And that's where those study guides come into play.
Yes.
They kind of help you figure out like what's the best case scenario? What's the best answer in these situations? But I think another thing is that is really distracting as you're testing is looking around and seeing what other people are doing.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Because even if someone finishes 30 minutes, an hour before you can take some tests. I think it's like up to 4 hours to take the exam.
It's up to 4 hours for a lot of things. I think some of them are even longer. Like those core exams can be very long. But they don't all start at the same time because you kind of sign up for
different sections,
like
maybe
a window.
Yeah.
You kind of make an appointment. So you probably are not going to know. At least when I took mine, I had no idea what anyone else was there to take.
Mm-hmm.
They had started their exam at a totally different time than I did. So they're probably not taking the same exam as you. They probably didn't start at the same time as you. So like, just don't even.
That is a really good point.
It's like a train station.
Yeah.
People are just coming and going and you're doing what you need to do.
You're doing your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's good. When I go into something, it's like, oh, everyone's doing the same thing as I am. And if they're finishing before me, it's like, wait a minute, I don't know it as well as they do. But you're right. It's like they could be doing a completely different test.
Mm-hmm.
How funny. Forget about that kind of stuff. You get so wrapped up in what you think is happening. So anyways. Okay. And then I think we can talk about quickly of different things. I think mixing it up, we have passage preparation, amazing material, but you also can kind of look out there for other things that could maybe help you to mix in with passage preparation. It's like, and there's free stuff out there.
Yeah.
ETS and Pearson have things that you can download from their website, like test questions, examples, that kind of thing. What are some other places that you would suggest?
Yeah, it's not necessarily free. I think they have some free resources, but Mometrics was really great for me when I was testing a million years ago. Yeah. And I think that you can still get physical books from them on Amazon. And it can be, again, we're talking about engaging the different parts of your brain.
Yeah.
It can be really nice to have passage on your computer, and then you can have your Mometrics book that you just are throwing in your bag and taking with you, and have just a different type of learning in that way. And that's really helpful. But those books are like $20 or something like that. They're very, very minimal, but then they do have online resources that are free.
Yeah. And I think I saw some study.com. Amazon, look, you can always get a book off of Amazon, but I think if you just mix it up and give yourself a little bit of variety, you kind of are covering all bases.
Yes. And honestly, I'm sure there's a lot on YouTube. We didn't go down that rabbit hole, but everything is on YouTube. There's no way that there isn't like a teacher somewhere being like, welcome to my workshop channel.
Right.
Like
what we're doing.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a rock star. Anyways, no, just kidding. But I think let's just recap. You've got to get ready for the test, register for the test, prepare for the test, get yourself in a comfortable situation to where when you do go in for that exam, you're not feeling overwhelmed.
Yes.
And then just hope for the best. All you can do is prepare and do the best you can. And then you just, at that point,
you have to let it rip.
Let it rip and give yourself a treat after the end. Like, go have fun. Go for a swim. Go for a drink. Whatever you want to do.
Grab a latte because you did not have coffee earlier because you didn't want to get jittery.
Good advice.
But go grab your coffee. Go walk around your favorite store on your way home. Like, find a little treat.
Yeah.
And celebrate being done. Really.
And then hopefully you don't have to take the test again.
Yes. Because you've prepared so much.
You're going to go into it saying, I'm going to just ace it. I'm going to ace it.
Yes.
Or at least just pass it.
Yes.
Pass it.
Yeah.